Most English learners are not failing because they are lazy. They are failing because they are using the wrong door. They study grammar for years, memorize word lists, fill notebooks, watch lesson after lesson, and still freeze when someone speaks English in real life. Why? Because real English is not only learned by the eyes, real English is absorbed by the ears. A child does not begin with grammar books. A child listens again, hears the same words in real situations, copies the sound, catches the rhythm, and slowly begins to speak naturally. This does not mean you should never study. It means studying alone is not enough. If you want to speak English fast, naturally, and confidently, your brain must hear English so often that it stops translating and starts responding. In this video, you will learn 10 powerful chapters that will train your ears, your brain, and your mouth to work together so English can start coming out naturally. Chapter 1. Why studying too much can make you speak slowly. Fai si bigam, avenesi saimias olizamatadas why si I sus niviu comorin. I fai sinigam in a fai sinigam eskimanitham altazuba anandataza. Many English learners believe that if they study more grammar, memorize more vocabulary, and watch more lessons, speaking will automatically become easy. But after months or even years, they realize something painful. They understand rules, they know many words, they can read English, but when someone asks them a simple question, their mind becomes blank. This happens because studying and speaking are not the same skill. Studying gives you knowledge. Listening gives you instinct. Knowledge is when you know the rules. Instinct is when the correct sentence comes out without thinking too much. A person who speaks naturally is not checking every grammar rule before every sentence. They are not building each sentence like a math problem. Their brain has heard the same patterns so many times that the language comes out automatically. This is the difference between knowing English and feeling English. When you study too much without listening enough, your English becomes heavy. You start asking too many questions inside your head before speaking. Is this tense correct? Is this preposition right? Should I use do or does? Is my pronunciation okay? What if I make a mistake? What if people laugh? By the time you finish checking everything, the conversation has moved on. This is why many learners can pass written exams but cannot speak naturally. Their English is trapped in the mind, not trained in the ears and mouth. Think about music. You can study notes, theory, rhythm, and instruments, but if you never listen to music deeply, you will not feel the sound. You may understand music on paper, but you will not play with life. English is the same. You cannot only study the structure, you must hear the music of the language. Spoken English has rhythm, it has stress, it has pauses, it has natural speed, it has common phrases that repeat again and again. Books can explain these things, but your ears must experience them. When native speakers speak, they often use simple words, but they use them quickly, smoothly, and naturally. They connect words, they reduce sounds, they use expressions that may not make sense when translated word by word. For example, a learner may study the sentence, "What do you want to do?" But in real speech, it may sound like, "What do you want to do?" A learner may know, "I am going to," but real speech often sounds like, "I'm gonna." A learner may understand, "Let me," but in fast speech, it may sound like, "Lemme." If you only study written English, real spoken English can feel like another language. You may know the words, but you do not recognize them when people say them naturally. This is why listening is not optional. Listening is the bridge between classroom English and real English. But there is another problem. Many learners study in a way that trains translation. They learn an English word, then connect it to a word in their native language. They read a sentence, then translate it. They try to speak, then build the sentence first in their own language and translate it into English. This creates a slow habit. Listening can break this habit because good listening connects English directly to meaning. When you hear "I'm hungry" many times in real situations, your brain does not need to translate every time. It understands the feeling directly. When you hear "I'll call you later" many times, the whole phrase becomes one piece. When you hear "that makes sense" again and again, your brain stores it as a natural response. This is how you begin thinking in English, not by forcing your brain to translate faster, but by reducing the need to translate at all. Studying also becomes dangerous when learners use it to avoid speaking. They keep saying, "I need more grammar first. I need more vocabulary first. I need to learn all tenses first. I need to improve my pronunciation first." But this waiting never ends. There is always another rule to learn. There is always another word to memorize. There is always another lesson to watch. If you wait until you feel completely ready, you may wait forever. Listening helps you start before perfection. It gives your brain real examples. It shows you how English is actually used. It gives you phrases you can copy immediately. For example, instead of studying grammar for 1 hour and still not speaking, you can listen to a simple sentence like, "I'm trying to improve my English," then repeat it. "I'm trying to improve my English," then change it. "I'm trying to speak better. I'm trying to listen every day. I'm trying to stop translating. I'm trying to sound more natural." Now you are not only studying English, you are using English. This is the shift. Stop treating English like a subject only. Start treating it like a sound, a rhythm, a habit, a living voice. This does not mean grammar is useless. Grammar is useful. Vocabulary is useful, lessons are useful, but they should support listening and speaking, not replace them. The most powerful learners do not only ask, "What is the rule?" They ask, "How does this sound in real English?" They do not only write vocabulary lists, they listen to phrases. They do not only memorize meanings, they copy rhythm. If you want to speak like a natural English speaker, you must first listen like a natural English learner. That means hearing English every day, not once a week, not only before exams, every day. Your ears must become familiar with English. Your brain must stop feeling shocked by English sounds. Your mouth must begin copying what your ears hear. The more you listen, the more English becomes normal. At first, English sounds fast, then it sounds familiar, then it sounds clear, then it starts living inside your mind. That is the real power of listening. So the first lesson is this: do not stop learning, but stop hiding behind studying. Stop collecting grammar rules while your ears remain weak. Stop memorizing words without hearing them in real speech. Stop waiting for perfect knowledge before you begin. Start listening. Listen every day. Repeat what you hear. Copy the rhythm. Use the phrases. Let English enter through your ears until it becomes natural in your mouth. Because fast speaking does not come from studying more and more rules. Fast speaking comes when your brain has heard English so many times that it knows what to say before fear can stop you. Chapter 2. How your ears train your brain to speak. Your ears are not only for hearing, your ears are training devices for your brain. Every time you listen to English, your brain is collecting patterns. It notices how words are placed together. It notices which sounds are strong and which sounds are weak. It notices which phrases appear again and again. Even when you do not understand everything, your brain is still learning the shape of the language. This is how all humans learn to speak their first language. Before a child says a full sentence, that child listens for thousands of hours. The child hears family members talking, asking questions, giving answers, repeating daily phrases. At first, the child does not understand every word, but the brain is absorbing sound patterns. Then one day, words begin to come out, not because the child studied grammar rules, not because the child memorized a vocabulary notebook, but because listening created a map inside the brain. English learners need the same map. When you listen often, your brain begins to predict English. This is extremely important for fluency. A fluent speaker does not wait for every single word to be spoken clearly. Their brain predicts meaning from patterns. For example, when someone says, "I don't know what to," your brain can already expect "do" or "say." When someone says, "Can you help me?" your brain expects something like "with this" or "understand this." When someone says, "I'm looking forward to," your brain expects a noun or verb with ing, like meeting you or seeing you. This prediction skill comes from listening. If you do not listen enough, every sentence feels new. Your brain has to work hard. It hears words one by one. It tries to translate. It gets tired. But when you listen daily, common patterns become familiar. Your brain starts saying, "I know this. I have heard this before." That feeling is the beginning of fluency. Listening also improves your pronunciation without forcing you to memorize pronunciation rules. When you hear a phrase many times, your mouth begins to understand how it should move. You may not know the technical name of the sound, but you can copy it. For example, many learners pronounce English word by word because they learned from text. They say every word separately and slowly. But real English connects words. "I need to go" becomes smoother. "I want to ask you something" flows as one line. "What are you doing" becomes natural with rhythm. "Did you get it" becomes short and quick in real speech. If you listen carefully and repeat, your mouth learns this flow. Your ears also teach you stress. In English, not all words have the same power. Some words are stressed because they carry the meaning. Other words are softer. Listen to this sentence: "I really need to improve my speaking." The stronger words are "really need," "improve," "speaking." The smaller words are "I," "to," "my." If you stress every word equally, your English may sound robotic. But if you listen and copy the rhythm, your speaking becomes more natural. This is why listening is the hidden teacher of pronunciation. Many learners try to fix pronunciation by reading. But pronunciation is sound. You must hear it. You must copy it. You must repeat it until your mouth becomes comfortable. Listening also helps grammar become automatic. This may surprise you, but listening can teach grammar deeply. When you hear correct grammar again and again, your brain starts feeling what sounds right. For example, if you hear "he goes to work" many times, then "he go to work" starts sounding strange. If you hear "I didn't know" many times, then "I didn't knew" starts sounding wrong. If you hear "I've been learning English" often, the pattern becomes familiar before you fully explain the rule. This is how native speakers use grammar. Many native speakers cannot explain every grammar rule clearly, but they know what sounds natural because they have heard the language all their lives. You can build that feeling too, through listening, but you must listen correctly. Some learners listen to English like background noise. They play a video while doing 5 other things. They say, "I listened for 2 hours today," but their brain was not active. Background listening can help a little, especially for becoming familiar with sounds, but it cannot replace focused listening. Focused listening means your attention is involved. You listen to a short part, you notice phrases, you repeat them, you try to understand without translating. You copy the speaker, you use the phrase in your own sentence. This is how listening becomes training. For example, suppose you hear, "I used to be afraid of speaking English, but now I'm trying to practice every day." Do not just move on. Pause and notice. "I used to be afraid of," now I'm trying to practice every day. These are powerful patterns. Now repeat. "I used to be afraid of speaking English. I used to be afraid of making mistakes. I used to be afraid of talking to people." Now change. "Now I'm trying to practice every day. Now I'm trying to speak more. Now I'm trying to listen carefully. Now I'm trying to build confidence." In 1 minute, you have trained listening, speaking, grammar, vocabulary, rhythm, and confidence. That is the power of smart listening. Your ears also help you stop translating because sound can connect directly to situation. When you hear "I'm tired" while seeing or imagining a tired person, your brain connects the sound to the feeling. When you hear "I'm on my way" in a real conversation, your brain connects the phrase to movement. When you hear "that's a good idea" in a discussion, your brain connects the phrase to agreement. This direct connection is faster than translation. Translation says, "English word, native word, meaning. Listening training says English sound, direct meaning. That is a shorter road. Fast speaking needs a shorter road. This is why you should choose listening material that is not too difficult. If the English is too advanced, your brain becomes stressed. You may feel lost and frustrated. But if the English is clear and understandable, your brain can absorb patterns. A good rule is this: listen to English that you can understand about 70 to 90%. It should be slightly challenging, but not impossible. If you understand nothing, it becomes noise. If it is too easy, you may not grow much. Choose the middle. Listen to slow conversations. Listen to clear stories. Listen to simple podcasts. Listen to English learning audio. Listen to speeches with clear pronunciation. Listen to the same audio many times. Repetition is not boring. Repetition is training. Many learners want new videos every day. They keep jumping from one lesson to another, but the brain needs repeated exposure. Listening to one useful audio 10 times can be more powerful than listening to 10 different audios one time. The first time, you understand the main idea. The second time, you catch more words. The third time, you notice phrases. The fourth time, you copy rhythm. The fifth time, you begin to feel the language. By the 10th time, parts of it become yours. That is how listening becomes speaking. So remember, your ears are training your brain every day. The question is, what are they training it with? If your ears hear English rarely, your brain will treat English like a stranger. If your ears hear English daily, your brain will treat English like a familiar voice. If your ears hear English deeply, your mouth will begin to follow. Do not underestimate listening. It is not passive, it is not weak, it is not only for beginners. Listening is the foundation of natural speaking. You speak from what you have heard, so feed your ears the English you want your mouth to speak. Chapter 3: The listening method that stops translation. Via what the what translation. Translation is one of the biggest walls between you and natural English. When you translate, your brain takes a long road. First, you hear English. Then you convert it into your native language. Then you think of the answer in your native language. Then you convert that answer back into English. Then you check grammar. Then you speak. This process is slow, stressful, and tiring. Natural English speaking needs a shorter road. You hear English. You understand the meaning. You answer in English. That is the goal. But how do you stop translation? You do not stop it by force. You stop it by training your brain to connect English directly to meaning. Listening is one of the strongest ways to do this. The method is simple. Listen for meaning, not for translation. Most learners listen word by word. They hear a sentence and immediately try to translate each word. If they miss one word, they panic. If they do not understand one phrase, they feel lost. But real listening does not work like that. In real life, even fluent speakers do not hear every word perfectly. They listen for the message. For example, if someone says, "I was going to call you earlier, but I got busy and completely forgot." You do not need to analyze every word. The meaning is simple. I wanted to call, but I was busy and forgot. Train yourself to catch the idea first. This is called meaning-first listening. When you listen to English, ask, what is the speaker saying? What is the situation? What is the emotion? What is the main message? Do not ask first, what does each word mean in my language? That question keeps you trapped in translation. Here is a powerful exercise. Choose a short English audio, maybe 30 seconds. Listen without subtitles. Do not pause. Do not translate. Just try to understand the main idea. After listening, say in simple English, the speaker is talking about, the main idea is, the problem is, the speaker feels, the speaker wants. For example, if you hear a short story about someone being late to work, you can say, the speaker is talking about his morning. He woke up late, he missed the bus, he felt stressed, he reached work late. Maybe you did not understand every word. That is okay. You understood the meaning. This trains your brain to stay in English. The next exercise is picture listening. When you hear English, create a picture in your mind. Do not create a translation. Create an image. If you hear, she is sitting near the window and drinking coffee, imagine it. See the woman, see the window, see the coffee. Do not translate the sentence. Let English create a picture. If you hear, he ran to the station because he was late, imagine a man running. Imagine the station. Imagine the feeling of being late. This method is powerful because images are direct. Your brain does not need your native language to understand an image. Children use this naturally. They hear words and connect them to the world. You can retrain your brain the same way. Another method is emotion listening. When you hear a phrase, feel the emotion behind it. I'm so happy for you carries joy. I'm really sorry carries regret. I don't know what to do carries confusion. That's amazing carries surprise. I'm exhausted carries tiredness. When you connect English to emotion, the phrase becomes alive. It is no longer just a sentence to translate. It becomes something you feel. This helps you remember and use English naturally. The next method is response listening. Do not only listen, respond. If you hear, "How was your day?" Pause and answer quickly. "It was good. It was busy. It was tiring, but okay. I had a lot of work today." If you hear, "What are you doing later?" Answer, "I'm going to study. I'm going to rest. I'm not sure yet. I might go out." This trains your brain to answer in English without translating. You can do this with any listening material. When the speaker asks a question, answer it. When the speaker says an opinion, respond with your opinion. When the speaker tells a story, summarize it. Listening should not only enter your ears, it should wake up your mouth. Another powerful exercise is listen and complete. Use common English patterns. Hear the first part and complete the sentence quickly. I need to, I want to, I'm trying to, I don't know how to, can you help me? I'm looking for, I'm thinking about, I feel like, the best thing is, the problem is. You can practice with yourself. I need to improve. I want to speak better. I'm trying to listen every day. I don't know how to explain it. Can you help me understand this? I'm looking for a better way. I'm thinking about my future. I feel like I'm improving. The best thing is daily practice. The problem is translation. This trains automatic English. Your brain starts completing English in English, not through another language. Now let us talk about subtitles. Subtitles can help, but they can also hurt if you use them wrongly. If you always listen with subtitles, your eyes become stronger than your ears. You may understand because you are reading, not because you are listening. Then in real conversation, where there are no subtitles, you struggle. Use subtitles carefully. First, listen without subtitles. Try to understand the main idea. Second, listen with subtitles. Check what you missed. Third, listen again without subtitles. Let your ears work. This three-step method trains real listening. Do not use subtitles as a crutch forever. Use them as a tool. Another important rule: do not translate subtitles into your language. Use English subtitles when needed. English audio plus English subtitles helps your brain connect sound and spelling. Your native language subtitles often bring translation back into the process. If your level is low, you may use native subtitles sometimes to understand difficult content. But for fluency training, English with English is stronger. Now let us talk about speed. Many learners say native speakers speak too fast. Sometimes they do speak fast, but often the real issue is that your brain is translating too slowly. When you stop translating and start recognizing chunks, English feels slower. For example, this sentence may feel fast. I don't know what you're talking about. But if your brain knows the chunk I don't know and the chunk what you're talking about, it becomes easier. You hear two pieces, not 7 separate words. This is why chunks are important for listening. Train your ears to hear groups of words. Instead of, I don't know what you're talking about, hear, I don't know what you're talking about. Instead of, Can you give me a second? Here, can you give me a second instead of I'm trying to figure it out. Here, I'm trying to figure it out. This changes everything. When you hear chunks, you understand faster. When you understand faster, you respond faster. When you respond faster, you feel more confident. The final part of stopping translation is repetition. You cannot stop translation by listening one time. Your brain needs repeated proof that English can be understood directly. Listen to the same simple phrases again and again. I'm ready, I'm not sure, let me think. That makes sense. I'll call you later. I need more time. What do you mean? I'm working on it. I forgot to do it. I'll let you know. These phrases should become instant. The moment you hear them, meaning should appear. No translation. Then your brain will begin to do the same with longer sentences. Start small. Repeat often. Understand directly. Respond quickly. This is the method. Do not fight translation with frustration. Replace it with direct listening. Every time you listen for meaning, your English brain becomes stronger. Every time you picture the sentence, translation becomes weaker. Every time you respond in English, fluency becomes faster. One day you will hear a sentence and understand it immediately. You will answer without building the sentence in your native language first. And that moment will feel like freedom. That is when English stops being a school subject. It becomes a living language inside you. Chapter 4, Shadowing. Copy the sound until your mouth follows. If listening trains your ears, shadowing trains your mouth. Shadowing is one of the most powerful techniques for speaking English naturally. It means you listen to a speaker and repeat immediately after them, copying their pronunciation, rhythm, stress, and flow. You are not only repeating words, you are copying the music of English. Many learners speak English slowly because their mouth is not trained. They may know the sentence, but the mouth cannot move quickly. The tongue feels heavy, the lips feel confused, the sound comes out broken. This is normal because speaking is physical. English is not only in your brain, it is in your mouth, breath, jaw, tongue, and rhythm. Shadowing trains all of these together. Think of an athlete. Reading about running does not make the body fast. The athlete must run. In the same way, reading English does not automatically make your mouth fluent. Your mouth must practice English movement. Shadowing gives your mouth real training. Start with short and easy sentences. Do not begin with very fast native speakers. Choose clear English. Choose a speaker whose voice is easy to understand. For example, I want to improve my English. Listen once, then repeat. I want to improve my English. Now listen again. Copy the rhythm. I want to improve my English. Do not speak like a robot. Feel the stress. Make the important words stronger. Try another sentence. I'm trying to speak more naturally. Repeat. I'm trying to speak more naturally. Now copy the flow. Notice that I'm trying to connect smoothly. The sentence should not feel like separate words. It should feel like one movement. At first, shadowing may feel difficult. You may be late. You may miss words. You may feel awkward. That is normal. Do not stop. Shadowing improves with repetition. There are 3 levels of shadowing. Level 1 is repeat after shadowing. You listen to one sentence, pause, and repeat. This is best for beginners. For example, audio. I need to practice every day. Pause. I need to practice every day. Audio. Sometimes I feel nervous when I speak. Pause. Sometimes I feel nervous when I speak. This level helps you hear clearly and repeat correctly. Level 2 is close shadowing. You listen and repeat almost immediately 1 or 2 words behind the speaker. This is harder because you must listen and speak at the same time. For example, the speaker says, I'm learning English because I want to communicate with confidence. You begin repeating right after the speaker starts, trying to follow the flow. This trains speed and rhythm. Level 3 is full shadowing. You speak at the same time as the speaker, copying their rhythm like singing along with a song. This is advanced but very powerful. It forces your mouth to move with natural English speed. Do not rush to level 3. Build slowly. The best shadowing routine is simple. First, listen to the sentence. Second, understand the meaning. Third, repeat slowly. Fourth, repeat with natural rhythm. Fifth, shadow with the speaker. Sixth, say the sentence alone without audio. This turns listening into speaking. Here is an example with one sentence. I used to translate every sentence in my head, but now I'm learning to think in English. First, understand it. The speaker is saying they had a translation habit, but now they are changing. Now break it into chunks. I used to translate every sentence in my head, but now I'm learning to think in English. Repeat each chunk, then repeat the full sentence. I used to translate every sentence in my head, but now I'm learning to think in English. Now shadow it with rhythm. This one sentence trains grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, fluency, and confidence. You do not need hundreds of sentences in one day. You need a few sentences deeply practiced. Many learners make the mistake of consuming too much and practicing too little. They watch 10 videos but repeat nothing. They listen for hours but never copy the sound. Then they wonder why their speaking does not improve. Your mouth improves by speaking. Shadowing is the bridge. It takes English from the speaker's mouth and trains it into your mouth. Another benefit of shadowing is that it reduces accent fear. Many learners become obsessed with sounding exactly like a native speaker. But the real goal is not to erase your identity. The real goal is to speak clearly, naturally, and confidently. Shadowing helps you improve clarity. It teaches you where to stress words, when to pause, and how to connect sounds. This makes you easier to understand. You do not need a perfect native accent. You need understandable, confident, natural speech. Shadowing also helps with listening speed. When you copy fast speech, your brain learns how words connect. You begin to understand real conversations more easily because your mouth has practiced the same patterns your ears hear. For example, when you shadow, "What are you going to do?" you may hear that it sounds more like, "What are you going to do?" Again, you do not have to use gonna in every situation, but recognizing it helps you understand real English. Shadowing teaches you connected speech naturally. Practice these common sentences. "I don't know what to say. I'm not sure what you mean. Can you give me a second? I'll let you know later. I'm trying to figure it out. That sounds like a good idea. I didn't understand the last part. Could you say that again? I've been working on my English. I want to speak more naturally." These are useful because you can use them in real conversations. When shadowing, record yourself sometimes. Compare your speech with the original. Do not judge yourself harshly. Listen like a coach. Ask, am I stressing the right words? Am I speaking too flat? Am I pausing in natural places? Which sound is difficult? Can I make this sentence smoother? Then repeat again. One sentence repeated 10 times can change your speaking more than 10 sentences repeated once. Here is a daily shadowing plan. Choose one short audio of 1 to 2 minutes. Listen once for meaning. Choose 3 useful sentences. Repeat each sentence 5 times. Shadow each sentence with the speaker. Record yourself saying the sentences. Use one sentence in your own speaking. This can take 10 minutes, but done daily, it can transform your English. Do not shadow random difficult content just because it sounds impressive. Shadow useful English. Shadow sentences you actually need. Shadow daily conversation. Shadow explanations. Shadow questions and answers. Shadow phrases you want to own. Your goal is not to perform. Your goal is to build automatic speech. The first few days, your mouth may feel slow. After 1 week, the sentences become smoother. After 1 month, your rhythm improves. After 3 months, you will notice that English begins to come out with less effort. Shadowing works because it removes the distance between hearing and speaking. You hear English, you copy English, you feel English, you speak English. That is the natural path. So do not only listen silently, open your mouth. Copy the sound. Train your rhythm. Let your mouth follow your ears. Because when your ears and mouth work together, English becomes alive. Chapter 5. Listening to chunks, not words. One of the biggest secrets of natural English is this. Fluent speakers do not think word by word. They think in chunks. A chunk is a group of words that usually appears together and carries one complete meaning. Chunks are the building blocks of real conversation. For example, I don't know, let me think, I'm not sure, that makes sense. I see what you mean, I'll get back to you, I'm looking forward to it. Can you help me with this? I was wondering if. The thing is, these phrases are not just separate words, they are ready-made pieces of English. When you learn English word by word, your speaking becomes slow. You may know the word sure, but can you use I'm not sure? Are you sure? I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure yet, and I'm sure it will be okay. You may know the word look, but can you use look for, look at, look like, look after, and look forward to? Words alone are not enough. You need chunks. Listening is the best way to collect chunks because chunks are easier to hear in real speech than to invent from grammar rules. When you listen, do not only ask, what words do I know? Ask, what phrases can I steal? Yes, steal phrases. Take them from native speakers, teachers, podcasts, conversations, movies, and interviews. Put them into your own speaking. This is how natural speakers learn. They hear phrases and reuse them. A child hears, come here, then says, come here. A child hears, give me that, then says, give me that. A child hears, I don't want it, then says, I don't want it. This is not copying in a bad way. This is how language grows. As an English learner, you should become a phrase collector. When you listen to English, write down useful chunks, not only new words. For example, suppose you hear, I didn't realize how important listening was until I started practicing every day. Useful chunks. I didn't realize how important until I started practicing every day. Now use them. I didn't realize how important pronunciation was. I didn't realize how much I was translating. I didn't realize how powerful listening could be. I started practicing every day. I started listening every morning. I started speaking to myself. Now the phrase belongs to you. This is how you turn listening into active fluency. Let us learn common chunks for English learners. Chunks for thinking. I think, I guess, I believe, I feel like, in my opinion, the way I see it. To be honest, as far as I know, from my experience, what I mean is chunks for hesitations. Let me think. Give me a second. That's a good question. I'm not sure how to explain it. How can I say this? I need a moment. Let me put it this way. I'm trying to find the right words. These chunks are powerful because they help you stay in English when your brain needs time. Instead of becoming silent, you can keep speaking. Chunks for asking. What do you mean? Can you explain that? Could you say that again? Can you give me an example? What are you talking about? How does that work? What should I do? Do you know what I mean? Chunks for responding. That makes sense. I see. I understand. Exactly. Not really. I don't think so. I agree with you. I see your point. That's true. That's interesting. Chunks for daily life. I'm on my way. I'm running late. I'm almost there. I'll call you back. I'll let you know. I'm getting ready. I have to go. I need more time. I forgot about it. I'm working on it. Chunks for learning English. Faz iskuffa. I'm trying to improve my speaking. I need more listening practice. I want to sound more natural. I understand, but I can't speak fast. I'm working on my pronunciation. I need to stop translating. Vasol valam yugasalif. I'm getting better slowly. I made a mistake. Can you correct me? How can I say this naturally? These chunks should become part of your daily practice. But here is the key. Do not just read them. Listen to them. Say them. Repeat them. Use them. A chunk must move through 4 stages. First, you notice it. Second, you understand it. Third, you repeat it. Fourth, you use it. If you only notice and understand, the chunk stays passive. You may recognize it, but you cannot use it quickly. To make it active, you must repeat and use it. Here is a simple chunk training method. Choose 5 chunks from your listening. Repeat each chunk 10 times. Create 3 sentences with each chunk. Use at least 1 chunk in real speaking or self-talk today. For example, the chunk is, I'm working on, repeat. I'm working on, I'm working on, I'm working on. Now create sentences. I'm working on my English. I'm working on my pronunciation. I'm working on speaking faster. I'm working on my confidence. I'm working on listening every day. Now use it in self-talk. Right now, I'm working on my English. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm improving. I'm working on listening more and translating less. Now the chunk is alive. Another useful method is chunk replacement. Take 1 chunk and replace only 1 part. I need to improve my English. I need to improve my speaking. I need to improve my listening. I need to improve my pronunciation. I need to improve my confidence. Then change the beginning. I want to improve my English. I'm trying to improve my English. I have to improve my English. I'm learning to improve my English. This gives your brain flexibility. Chunks also help you speak faster because you are not building the sentence from zero. If you already have I'm trying to ready, you only need to add your idea. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to speak. I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to improve. Fast speaking is not magic. It is ready-made language used quickly. Native speakers use chunks constantly. They say, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, it depends. I don't feel like it. That's not what I meant. I was just about to, let me know if you need anything. I'll see what I can do. These phrases come out automatically because they have heard and used them thousands of times. You can build the same automatic power by collecting chunks from listening. Another important point. Chunks teach natural grammar without pressure. When you learn, I'm looking forward to meeting you, you also learn that after look forward to, we often use an ing form. You do not need to panic about the rule during speaking. The chunk already carries the grammar. When you learn, I'm interested in learning English, you learn interested in plus ing form. When you learn, I'm good at speaking, you learn good at plus ing form. Chunks make grammar easier because they show grammar in action. This is why listening to chunks is better than memorizing dry rules alone. Now let us discuss how to find chunks. You can find chunks in English conversations, podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube lessons, interviews, movies, TV shows, speeches, stories, English learning videos. But choose content carefully. For learners, clear and useful content is better than complicated content. Do not choose material only because it sounds advanced. Choose material that gives you phrases you can actually use. When listening, pause after useful phrases, repeat them, write them down, make them yours. Your notebook should not only be a vocabulary notebook, it should be a phrase notebook. Instead of writing, improve means make better. Write, improve my English, improve my speaking. I'm trying to improve. The best way to improve is, my English is improving slowly. This is much more useful for speaking. At the end of each day, review your chunks. Choose one and speak for 1 minute using it. For example, chunk, I used to translate every sentence. I used to feel nervous when someone spoke English to me. I used to think I needed perfect grammar before speaking, but now I understand that listening is very important. Now I'm trying to practice every day. This one chunk can create many sentences. That is the power of chunks. So from today, stop listening only for single words. Listen for groups. Listen for expressions. Listen for sentence starters. Listen for natural responses. Do not ask, how many words did I learn today? Ask, how many useful phrases did I collect? How many did I repeat? How many did I use? Because real speaking does not come from knowing isolated words. Real speaking comes from having natural chunks ready in your mind. Chapter 6. Listening every day without getting bored. Fast. Many learners start listening practice with excitement. For 2 or 3 days, they listen carefully. Then they get bored. They skip one day, then another, and soon the habit disappears. The problem is not that listening does not work. The problem is that their listening system is too weak, too random, or too difficult. If you want listening to change your English, you need a daily routine that is simple enough to repeat and strong enough to improve you. The secret is not listening for 5 hours once in a while. The secret is listening every day, even for a short time. Daily listening trains your brain to expect English. It tells your mind, this sound is part of my life. When English becomes part of your daily environment, it stops feeling foreign. But to continue daily, you must make listening enjoyable and practical. First, choose the right level. If the English is too hard, you will feel tired, you will stop. If the English is too easy, you may feel bored. The best listening material is something you can mostly understand but still learn from. You should understand the main idea without translating every word. You should hear some new phrases, but not so many that you feel lost. A good listening level feels like this. I understand the topic. I can follow the speaker. I miss some words, but I still understand. I can repeat some phrases. I feel challenged, but not defeated. That is the right zone. Second, choose topics you care about. Do not force yourself to listen only to boring textbook conversations if they make you sleepy. Listen to English connected to your interests. If you like self-improvement, listen to motivational English. If you like stories, listen to simple stories. If you like business, listen to business conversations. If you like travel, listen to travel English. If you like health, listen to health discussions. Interest gives energy. When you care about the topic, your brain pays attention longer. You do not feel like you are only studying. You feel like you are discovering something. This is why listening can become enjoyable. Third, use short sessions. Many learners fail because they make the habit too big. They say, I will listen for 1 hour every day. Then they miss one day and feel guilty. Instead, start with 10 minutes. 10 minutes every day is powerful if you do it correctly. You can divide it like this. 2 minutes, listen normally. 3 minutes, repeat useful phrases. 2 minutes, shadow the speaker. 2 minutes, summarize what you heard. 1 minute, use one phrase in your own sentence. This is not too long, but it trains many skills. Fourth, repeat the same audio. Boredom often comes because learners think repetition is useless, but repetition is where the magic happens. The first time you listen, the audio feels new. The second time, you understand more. The third time, you notice pronunciation. The fourth time, you catch chunks. The fifth time, you can speak with the audio. Repetition changes listening from understanding into ownership. If you listen once, the English passes through you. If you listen many times, the English stays inside you. But to avoid boredom, repeat with a different purpose each time. First, listen. Understand the main idea. Second, listen. Catch new words. Third, listen. Find useful chunks. Fourth, listen. Shadow. Fifth, listen. Summarize. Sixth, listen. Speak about the topic yourself. Now repetition feels active, not boring. Fifth, create a listening menu. A listening menu means you have different types of listening for different moments. Morning listening, short, positive, clear English to start your day. Travel listening, easy audio you can hear while walking or commuting. Focused listening, short audio where you pause, repeat, and shadow. Relaxed listening, stories, conversations, or podcasts for enjoyment. Review listening, old audio you already know, to strengthen memory. This gives variety without confusion. You do not need to search every day for new material. Searching too much wastes time. Prepare a few sources and use them again and again. Sixth, connect listening with your life. After listening, do not let the English disappear. Use it immediately. If you hear the phrase, I'm looking forward to, use it. I'm looking forward to improving my English. I'm looking forward to speaking with confidence. I'm looking forward to learning more tomorrow. If you hear I've been trying to, use it. I've been trying to listen every day. I've been trying to stop translating. I've been trying to speak more naturally. This makes listening useful. Seventh, use the 5-sentence summary. After listening to anything, summarize it in 5 simple sentences. For example, the speaker talked about English fluency. He said listening is very important. He explained that translation makes speaking slow. He gave some practice methods. I think I should listen more every day. This exercise forces your brain to produce English from listening. It is simple but powerful. At first, your summaries may be very basic. That is okay. Basic English used daily becomes fluent English later. Eighth, make listening visible. Track your practice. Write 1 line every day. Today I listened for 10 minutes. Today I learned the phrase, "That makes sense." Today I shadowed 3 sentences. Today I understood more than yesterday. Today I practiced even though I felt lazy. This creates motivation because you can see progress. Progress is not always easy to feel day by day. But when you track it, you see that you are not standing still. Ninth, do not chase perfection. Some learners stop listening because they cannot understand everything. They think, my English is bad. But understanding everything is not required. In fact, if you understand everything perfectly, the material may be too easy. Your goal is growth. If you understand the main idea and learn a few phrases, the listening session is successful. Do not turn listening into pressure. Listening should be steady, not stressful. 10th, use background listening wisely. Background listening means playing English while doing other things. This is useful for sound familiarity, but it should not replace focused listening. Use background listening when walking, cleaning, cooking, or traveling. Let your ears stay close to English, but also have a short focus session every day where you pause, repeat, and speak. Background listening makes English familiar. Focused listening makes English active. You need both, but focused listening is the stronger training. Now let us create a daily listening routine that never feels too heavy. Morning, listen to 2 minutes of clear English. Afternoon, repeat 5 useful phrases. Evening, shadow 3 sentences. Night, summarize in 5 sentences. This can be done in 15 minutes. If you are busy, do the minimum routine. Listen for 3 minutes. Repeat 1 sentence. Use 1 phrase. Even this keeps the habit alive. Remember, the goal is not to impress yourself with a difficult routine. The goal is to become consistent. A small habit repeated daily is stronger than a big plan that disappears. Your brain changes through frequency. It needs English often. Every day you listen, you are telling your brain, English matters, keep this sound ready. After a few weeks, you will notice that some phrases come to your mind naturally. After a few months, your listening will feel clearer, your speaking will feel less forced, your pronunciation will improve, your confidence will grow. Not because you studied harder, but because you listened smarter. So do not make listening boring. Make it clear, make it short, make it useful, make it connected to your life. Listen to what interests you, repeat what helps you, shadow what you want to sound like, use what you hear, track your progress. This is how daily listening becomes a powerful fluency system. Chapter 7. Speaking starts after listening, not before. Many learners try to speak before their ears are ready. They force themselves into conversations, but because they have not heard enough English, they struggle to find words, build sentences, and understand replies. Then they feel embarrassed and think, I am not good at English. But the problem is not their ability. The problem is the order. Listening should come before speaking. This does not mean you should stay silent for years. It means you should let listening feed your speaking. Think of a cup. Speaking is what comes out. Listening is what fills the cup. If the cup is empty, nothing can come out. If your mind has not received enough English, speaking will feel painful. But when your mind is full of phrases, sentences, rhythms, and responses, speaking becomes easier. You speak from what you have heard. This is why learners who listen a lot often speak more naturally, even if they have studied less grammar. Their brain has real examples. They do not need to invent every sentence. They can reuse patterns. For example, if you have heard "I'm not sure but I think" many times, you can use it in conversation. "I'm not sure, but I think listening is more important." "I'm not sure, but I think we should try again." "I'm not sure, but I think this answer is correct." If you have heard "the main reason is" many times, you can explain ideas. The main reason is lack of practice. The main reason is fear. The main reason is translation. If you have heard "what do you mean by" many times, you can ask questions. What do you mean by fluent? What do you mean by natural English? What do you mean by listening method? Listening gives you speaking tools. Without listening, you may know words but not know how to use them naturally. With listening, you learn how words live inside real sentences. This is why speaking should be built from listening. A powerful method is listen, pause, speak. Choose a short audio. Listen to one sentence, pause, repeat the sentence, then speak your own sentence using the same pattern. For example, you hear, "I've been learning English for 2 years." Pause and repeat. "I've been learning English for 2 years." Now create your own. "I've been practicing listening every day." "I've been trying to improve my speaking." "I've been working on my pronunciation." "I've been watching English videos." This method turns one sentence into many speaking opportunities. Another example, the speaker says, "It takes time to become confident." You repeat, "It takes time to become confident." Now create, "It takes time to speak naturally." It takes time to stop translating. It takes time to improve pronunciation. It takes time to build fluency. Now the structure is yours. This is much better than only listening silently. Another method is listen and answer. Find audio with questions or create your own questions from what you hear. If the audio says, "Many learners feel nervous when they speak English," ask yourself, "Do I feel nervous when I speak English?" Answer, "Yes. Sometimes I feel nervous because I'm afraid of making mistakes. But I know that mistakes are part of learning." If the audio says, "Listening helps your brain recognize natural English patterns," ask, "How does listening help me?" Answer, "Listening helps me because I hear real sentences again and again. My brain learns patterns and I can speak faster." This is how listening becomes conversation practice. You do not need another person every time. You can respond to the audio. You can talk back to the speaker. You can turn listening into speaking. Another powerful method is delayed speaking. Listen to a short story, then close the audio and retell it in your own words. For example, the story says, "A man wanted to improve his English, but he only studied grammar. He knew many rules, but he could not speak. Then he started listening every day and repeating useful phrases. After a few months, he became more confident." Now retell. The story is about a man who wanted to improve his English. At first, he studied only grammar. He knew rules, but speaking was difficult. Later, he began listening every day and repeating phrases. Slowly, he became more confident. This exercise is powerful because it trains memory, speaking, grammar, and fluency together. Do not worry if your retelling is not perfect. The goal is not to copy every word. The goal is to express the idea in English. Another method is sentence expansion. Listen to a simple sentence and make it longer. Sentence, "I listen every day." Expand, "I listen every day because I want to improve my English." Expand again, "I listen every day because I want to improve my English and speak more naturally." Expand again, "I listen every day because I want to improve my English, speak more naturally, and stop translating in my head." This trains your brain to build longer sentences from simple ideas. Another method is sentence reduction. Listen to a long sentence and make it simple. Long sentence. Many English learners struggle to speak fluently because they spend too much time studying grammar and not enough time listening to natural English. Simple version: many learners struggle because they study too much and do not listen enough. This skill helps you speak when you do not know advanced structures. You learn to express ideas simply. Simple English is powerful. Do not be ashamed of it. Clear, simple English is better than confused, advanced English. Now let us talk about confidence. Speaking after listening gives you confidence because you are not starting from zero. You are using something you already heard. Your brain feels supported. It says, I know this phrase. I have heard this before. This reduces fear. Fear grows when the mind feels empty. Confidence grows when the mind has ready language. That is why listening must be connected to speaking practice. But be careful. Do not wait until you understand everything before you speak. Some learners listen for months but never open their mouth. That is also a mistake. The correct order is listen, repeat, copy, use, speak. Listening without speaking can make your understanding stronger, but your mouth may remain weak. Speaking without listening can make your English unnatural. Together, they create fluency. You need both. Every listening session should end with some speaking, even if it is only 1 minute. After listening, say, what did I hear? What did I learn? What phrase can I use? What is my opinion? How can I explain this in simple English? This makes your brain active. Here is a simple formula. Listen for 5 minutes. Speak for 1 minute. That is enough to start. If you listen to a lesson about confidence, speak for 1 minute about confidence. If you listen to a story, retell the story. If you listen to a conversation, repeat the useful phrases. If you listen to a speech, summarize the main idea. The more you do this, the more your speaking will grow naturally. You will stop asking, what should I say? Because your listening will give you material. You will stop translating because your brain will remember phrases. You will stop freezing because your mouth will have practiced. You will stop feeling empty because your ears will have filled your mind. Speaking does not begin when you open your mouth. Speaking begins when you listen deeply. Chapter 8: How to listen like a native learner. To speak English naturally, you must learn to listen differently. Most learners listen like students. They listen to catch every word, translate every sentence, and check every grammar point. But native speakers do not listen like that in daily life. They listen for meaning, mood, intention, and response. A native listener does not panic when they miss one word. They understand from context. They hear tone. They predict what is coming. They focus on the message. You need to train this kind of listening. This does not mean you become native overnight. It means you begin using the same listening habits that natural speakers use. The first habit is listening for the main idea. When someone speaks, do not chase every word. First, catch the topic. Is the person talking about work? A problem? A plan? A memory? An opinion? A request? A feeling? Once you know the topic, understanding becomes easier. For example, if someone says, I was supposed to meet him yesterday, but something came up, so we decided to reschedule. Maybe you missed supposed to or came up, but you can still understand the main idea. They planned a meeting, something happened, and they changed the time. That is successful listening. The second habit is listening for emotion. English is not only words. Tone carries meaning. The same sentence can mean different things depending on how it is said. For example, that's fine. If said calmly, it may mean it is okay. If said coldly, it may mean the person is upset. If said happily, it may mean they truly agree. Listening like a native means hearing emotion. Ask, does the speaker sound happy, angry, tired, confused, excited, worried, sarcastic, serious? This helps you respond naturally. If someone sounds worried, you do not only answer the words, you answer the feeling. They say, I don't know if I can do this. You can respond, don't worry, take your time. You can try step by step. That is natural communication. The third habit is listening for intention. What does the speaker want? Are they asking for help, giving advice, sharing information, making a complaint, inviting you, warning you, explaining something? trying to end the conversation. When you understand intention, you do not need every word. For example, do you think you could send me the file when you get a chance? The intention is a request. The person wants the file. You can respond, sure, I'll send it soon. Another example, I was wondering if you're free tomorrow evening. The intention may be an invitation or a plan. You can respond, yes, I'm free. What do you have in mind? This kind of listening helps conversation flow. The fourth habit is listening for chunks. Native speakers hear common phrases as one unit. You should train this too. When you hear, I don't know what you mean, do not process 7 separate words. Hear, I don't know what you mean. When you hear, I was about to call you. Hear, I was about to call you. When you hear, let me know what you think. Hear, let me know what you think. Chunks make listening faster and speaking easier. The fifth habit is listening through context. Context means the situation around the words. Where are the people? What are they talking about? What happened before? What might happen next? If you understand context, you can guess meaning. For example, if people are in a restaurant and someone says, could we get the check? You understand they want to pay. Maybe you never learned check as a restaurant bill, but the context helps. If someone is leaving and says, I'll catch up with you later, context tells you they will talk later. If someone is pointing to a chair and says, is this seat taken? Context tells you they are asking if they can sit. Do not listen to English as isolated sentences. Listen to the situation. The sixth habit is accepting unclear parts. This is very important. Many learners stop listening when they miss a word. Their mind gets stuck on that word and they miss the next sentence. Native listeners do not do this. They let small unclear parts pass and keep following the meaning. You must train yourself to continue. If you miss a word, do not panic. Keep listening. The next sentence may explain it. Think, I missed that word, but I understand the general idea. I will keep listening. I do not need every word. This mindset reduces stress. The seventh habit is listening for responses. When native speakers listen, they are preparing to respond. They are not just collecting information, they are thinking, what should I say next? You can practice this. While listening, ask, do I agree? Do I disagree? Can I ask a question? Can I give an example? Can I share my experience? Can I summarize this? This turns listening into conversation preparation. For example, if you listen to someone say, I think listening is more important than grammar for speaking, you can respond, I agree because listening helps me understand real English. Or, ba mis amikai inkisafai, wadanwai, amika inti tu siligmai nisavn penev visingdasa biziligmai adbilevovadis. I partly agree, but I think grammar is also important. Or, can you explain how I should practice listening? Now you are not passive, you are ready. The eighth habit is listening to natural speed gradually. Do not jump from slow beginner English to extremely fast native conversations. Build a ladder. Level 1, slow, clear English. Level 2, normal teacher English. Level 3, simple native conversations. Level 4, podcasts and interviews. Level 5, movies, fast conversations, and different accents. Move step by step. If you jump too high, you may feel discouraged. If you climb gradually, your listening becomes stronger. The ninth habit is noticing repeated language. Natural English repeats. People use the same phrases often. You know what I mean. At the same time, to be honest, I guess it depends. That's true. I see. I'm not sure. Let me think. That makes sense. When you notice repeated language, you are discovering the real engine of conversation. Write these phrases down. Repeat them. Use them. The 10th habit is listening with patience. Native-like listening does not come in 1 week. It grows. Your brain needs time to adjust to sounds, speed, accents, and connected speech. Do not quit because you do not understand everything immediately. Every listening session is training. Even when you understand only part of the audio, your brain is learning. Even when you repeat one sentence, your mouth is improving. Even when you feel slow, your ears are becoming stronger. The key is patience with consistency. Here is a practice for listening like a native learner. Choose a short conversation. Listen once for the topic. Listen again for emotion. Listen again for intention. Listen again for chunks. Then answer these questions in English. Waar interesseert me das Internet? What are they talking about? How does the speaker feel? What does the speaker want? What useful phrase did I hear? How would I respond? This is deep listening. It trains you to understand English as communication, not as a school test. Because real English is not about translating every word. It is about understanding people. When you listen like this, your speaking changes. You begin to respond more naturally. You learn when to say, "That makes sense," when to say, "I'm sorry to hear that," when to say, "I see your point," when to say, "Could you explain that?" You learn the rhythm of real conversation. This is how English becomes human. Not just grammar, not just vocabulary, not just pronunciation. Real listening teaches you meaning, emotion, timing, and response. So train your ears like a native learner. Listen for the message. Listen for the feeling. Listen for the intention. Listen for chunks. Use context. Stay calm when you miss words. Prepare to respond. This is how listening becomes natural understanding. And natural understanding is the foundation of natural speaking. Chapter 9. The 30-day listening challenge for fast fluency. If you want real change, you need a plan. Not a complicated plan, not a perfect plan, a plan you can actually follow. This chapter gives you a 30-day listening challenge designed to train your brain to understand English faster, stop translating, collect natural phrases, and speak with more confidence. The challenge is simple but powerful. For 30 days, you will listen to English every day, repeat useful phrases, shadow short sentences, and speak from what you hear. You do not need many hours. You need consistency. The daily routine has 5 parts. Part 1, listen for meaning. Part 2, collect phrases. Part 3, repeat and shadow. Part 4, speak from the audio. Part 5, review one phrase. This routine can take 15 to 20 minutes a day. Now let us break it down. Part 1, listen for meaning. Choose a short English audio. It can be 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 5 minutes. Do not choose something too difficult. Listen once without stopping. Your only goal is to understand the main idea. After listening, say, "This audio is about," the speaker says. The main idea is, for example, "This audio is about learning English through listening." The speaker says that studying is not enough. The main idea is that listening helps the brain speak naturally. This trains your brain to understand without translating every word. Part 2, collect phrases. Listen again. This time, find 3 useful phrases. For example, "I used to," "I'm trying to." The main idea is, write them down or repeat them mentally. Do not collect too many phrases. 3 phrases are enough. The goal is quality, not quantity. Part 3, repeat and shadow. Take each phrase and repeat it 5 to 10 times. I'm trying to, then use it in sentences. I'm trying to listen every day. I'm trying to improve my speaking. I'm trying to stop translating. Now shadow one full sentence from the audio. Copy the speaker's rhythm. Part 4, speak from the audio. Speak for 1 minute about what you heard. You can say, "I listened to a lesson about English fluency. The speaker explained that listening is very important. I learned that I should not only study grammar, I should listen, repeat, and use phrases. I think this method can help me speak more naturally." This step is extremely important. It turns listening into speaking. Part 5, review one phrase. Before the day ends, use one phrase again. If your phrase is "I'm trying to," say, "I'm trying to improve every day. I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying to speak without fear." This keeps the phrase alive. Now let us organize the 30 days. Days 1 to 5. Build the habit. Do not worry about perfection. Your only goal is to show up. Listen for 5 to 10 minutes. Repeat 3 phrases. Speak for 30 seconds to 1 minute. Use very easy English. The first days should feel manageable. You are training consistency. During these days, you may notice your mind still translates a lot. That is okay. Do not fight it. Just keep listening and repeating. Useful phrases for days 1 to 5. I want to, I need to, I'm learning to, I'm trying to, I don't understand. Can you repeat that? That makes sense. Let me think. I'm getting better. I will try again. Days 6 to 10. Strengthen your ears. Now listen more carefully. Try to notice pronunciation and rhythm. Choose short audios and repeat them more than once. First listen. Main idea. Second listen. Phrases. Third listen. Rhythm. Fourth listen. Shadow. During these days, focus on hearing chunks. For example, I don't know what to say. I'm trying to figure it out. Can you help me with this? The goal is to stop hearing English as separate words and start hearing groups. Days 11 to 15. Connect listening to speaking. Now, every listening session must end with speaking. Do not skip this. After listening, answer. What was the topic? What did I learn? Do I agree? Can I give an example? How can I use this in my life? Speak for at least 1 minute. You may repeat the same simple words. That is fine. Repetition builds strength. Example. Today I listened to English. The topic was confidence. I learned that confidence comes from practice. I agree because when I practice, I feel better. I need to speak more every day. Simple, clear, useful. Days 16 to 20. Shadow for natural rhythm. Now focus more on sound. Choose 3 sentences each day and shadow them deeply. Do not choose long sentences. Choose useful sentences. For example, I'm trying to speak more naturally. I need to practice every day. I used to translate everything in my head. Listening helps me understand real English. I'm getting better step by step. Repeat each sentence slowly first, then with rhythm, then with the speaker, then alone. Record yourself if possible. Listen and improve. Do not judge your accent harshly. Focus on clarity and flow. Days 21 to 25. Reduce translation. Now practice direct understanding. Listen to easy English and create pictures in your mind. Do not translate. If the speaker says, he walked into the room and sat near the window, imagine it. If the speaker says, she looked tired because she worked all day, imagine it and feel it. After listening, summarize in English only. Even if your summary is simple, keep it in English. During these days, avoid using your native language during practice. English audio, English phrases, English summary. This trains the English pathway in your brain. Days 26 to 30. Speak with confidence. Now use everything together. Listen, collect chunks, shadow, summarize, give your opinion, record yourself, review 1 phrase. Your speaking should become longer now. Try 2 to 3 minutes. Use this structure. Today I listened to, the main idea was, I learned that, a useful phrase was, my opinion is, I will use this by example. Today I listened to a lesson about speaking English naturally. The main idea was that listening trains the brain. I learned that I should repeat useful phrases and not only study grammar. A useful phrase was, I'm working on. My opinion is that this method is simple but powerful. I will use this by listening every morning and speaking about what I hear. This is real fluency training. At the end of 30 days, record yourself answering these questions. How has my listening improved? Can I understand more than before? Do I translate less? What phrases did I learn? Do I feel more confident speaking? What will I practice next? This final recording will show your progress. You may not become perfect in 30 days, but you will become better. You will hear more clearly. You will speak more smoothly. You will have more phrases ready. You will feel less afraid of English. That is real progress. Now let us talk about what to do if you miss a day. Do not quit. Many learners fail because they miss one day and think the challenge is ruined. It is not ruined. Missing one day is normal. Just return the next day. Never let one missed day become one missed week. The challenge is not about perfection. It is about returning. If you are busy, do the emergency version. Listen for 1 minute. Repeat one sentence. Say one sentence about your day. That is enough to keep the chain alive. Now let us talk about what content to use. Use content that matches your goals. If you want daily conversation, listen to daily conversations. If you want to work in English, listen to work conversations. If you want to travel English, listen to travel dialogues. If you want natural speaking, listen to interviews and simple podcasts. If you want motivation, listen to clear motivational English. Do not listen randomly all the time. Your listening should support the English you want to speak. If your goal is conversation, collect conversation phrases. If your goal is fluency, collect sentence starters. If your goal is pronunciation, shadow clear speakers. If your goal is confidence, speak after listening. This challenge works because it trains the full system. Your ears hear English. Your brain understands meaning. Your mouth repeats the sound. Your memory stores chunks. Your voice uses phrases. Your confidence grows through action. That is the path. Do this for 30 days and you will not be the same learner. You will stop seeing English only as something to study. You will start feeling it as something to hear, copy, and use. And once listening becomes a daily habit, English becomes part of your life. That is when fluency begins to feel possible. Chapter 10. From listener to natural speaker. Asiva no mina fas. The final goal is not only to understand English. The final goal is to speak naturally. Listening is the beginning, but it must lead to expression. You do not want to become someone who understands everything but stays silent. You want English to come out of your mouth with confidence, clarity, and flow. To become a natural speaker, you must turn listening into active language. This means every time you listen, you ask, what can I use from this? What phrase can I copy? What sentence pattern can I practice? What idea can I explain? How can I say something similar? This is how a listener becomes a speaker. Many learners separate listening and speaking. They listen at one time and speak at another time, but the strongest method is to connect them immediately. Listen, then speak. This connection teaches your brain that English is not just input, it is communication. For example, after listening to a conversation about daily routines, speak about your own routine. The speaker says, I usually wake up around 7, check my phone, and make coffee before I start work. Now you say, I usually wake up early, wash my face, and drink tea before I start my day. Same pattern, your life. The speaker says, I'm trying to be more consistent with my habits. Now you say, I'm trying to be more consistent with my English practice. Same phrase, your goal. The speaker says, it's not easy, but I'm making progress. Now you say, speaking English is not easy, but I'm making progress. This is how you borrow English and make it yours. Natural speakers are not inventing completely new languages every time. They reuse patterns they have heard before. You can do the same. The next step is building your personal phrase bank. A phrase bank is a collection of sentences you want to use often. For English learners, your phrase bank should include self-introduction phrases, daily life phrases, opinion phrases, question phrases, clarification phrases, storytelling phrases, learning phrases, confidence phrases. Let us create examples. Self-introduction. My name is, I'm currently learning English. I'm working on my speaking skills. I want to improve my communication. Daily life. I'm getting ready. I have a lot to do today. I'm running a little late. I'll call you later. I need to finish this first. Opinion. In my opinion, I think the main reason is, I agree with that. I see your point, but the way I see it. Questions. What do you mean? Can you explain that? Could you give me an example? How can I improve this? What should I do next? Clarification. I'm not sure I understand. Could you say that again? Let me make sure I understand. Do you mean that? So you're saying that storytelling at first, then after that, suddenly, in the end, I realized that learning, I'm trying to stop translating. I need more listening practice. I'm working on my pronunciation. I understand more than I can speak. I want to sound more natural. Confidence. I can improve step by step. Mistakes are part of learning. I do not need to be perfect. Every day, I'm getting better. I will keep practicing. When you listen to English, add phrases to this bank. Then practice them daily. A natural speaker has thousands of phrases ready. You can start with 50, then 100, then more, but do not collect phrases only. Use them. Every day choose 5 phrases and speak with them. For example, I'm working on my English. I'm working on my listening. I'm working on my confidence. I see your point, but I think listening is still very important. Could you explain that? Could you explain that again? I want to understand it clearly. English was difficult for me. Then I started listening more. Every day I'm getting better. Every day I'm getting better because I practice consistently. Now these phrases become part of your voice. Another important step is imitation with personality. You copy the speaker closely. This is good. But later, you must speak as yourself. Do not become a robot. Use natural phrases, but express your own thoughts. For example, you hear, I believe consistency is more important than intensity. You can say, I believe daily listening is more important than studying for many hours once a week. You use the pattern but change the idea. This is real fluency. Another step is speaking in full thoughts. Many learners answer with 1 or 2 words because they are afraid. But natural speaking often requires complete thoughts. If someone asks, why are you learning English? Do not only say, for a job. Say, I'm learning English because I want better opportunities and more confidence. I also want to understand videos, conversations, and people from different countries. This answer is simple but complete. Listening helps you build these complete thoughts because you hear how speakers explain ideas. Pay attention to connectors. Because, but, so, and the estolviv I see as 6 other thing faizia so practed nimo save. Do would just late in a crate light in the nasal pies, AD light. And factory also, for example, that's why the main reason is, another thing is, in the end, these small words make your speaking flow. Practice them. I'll save you in his avia ferif. Missethiat asiksam bidowini spaf. Voth saying avi ander asik saying, tosnod banne missivu shemi se put. I listen every day because I want to improve. I know grammar is important, but listening helps me speak naturally. I repeat phrases, so my brain remembers them. I study sometimes, and I also listen daily. For example, I shadow short sentences. That's why I feel more confident now. Connectors turn short sentences into fluent speech. Another key to natural speaking is response speed. You do not need to speak fast like a machine, but you need to respond without long silence. Listening helps because it gives you ready responses. Practice common answers. How are you? I'm good, thanks. How about you? What do you do? I'm learning English and working on my personal goals. Why are you learning English? I want to communicate better and speak with confidence. Do you understand? Yes, I understand the main idea. Not completely. Could you explain it again? What do you think? I think it's a good idea. I'm not sure, but it sounds interesting. Can you speak English? I'm still learning, but I can communicate better than before. These responses should become automatic. Repeat them until they come out easily. Natural speaking also requires comfort with mistakes. Even after listening a lot, you will make mistakes. That is normal. Do not let mistakes stop you. A natural speaker keeps going. If they say something wrong, they correct it or continue. You can say, Sorry, let me say that again. What I mean is, let me explain it another way. I don't know the exact word, but these phrases save you in conversation. If you forget a word, explain around it. If you forget charger, say, the thing I use to charge my phone. If you forget appointment, say, a meeting with the doctor. If you forget receipt, say, the paper you get after paying. This keeps your English moving. Fluency is movement, not perfection. The final step is living with English. Do not keep English locked inside study time. Bring it into your day. Listen while walking. Listen while cleaning. Listen while cleaning. Listen before sleeping. Think in English for small moments. Repeat phrases quietly. Describe what you are doing. Answer imaginary questions. Record your voice. Talk to yourself. Use English as a daily habit. The more English enters your life, the more natural it becomes. One day you will notice something beautiful. A phrase will come to your mind without effort. You will hear a question and answer quickly. You will understand a sentence without translating. You will speak and realize you did not plan every word. That is the moment listening becomes fluency. But remember, this is not a miracle. It is training. You listened, you repeated, you shadowed, you collected chunks, you spoke from what you heard, you practiced daily, and your brain changed. So from today, become an active listener. Do not only hear English, absorb it. Do not only understand English, repeat it. Do not only collect phrases, use them. Do not only study English, live with it. The path is simple. Listen until English feels familiar. Repeat until your mouth feels comfortable. Speak until your confidence becomes real. That is how you move from listener to natural speaker. You do not need to study English forever before you speak. You need to hear English, feel English, repeat English, and use English every day. Grammar can guide you, but listening will train you. Vocabulary can help you, but phrases will free you. Lessons can explain English, but your ears will make English natural. So stop depending only on books, rules, and memorization. Start listening with focus. Copy the rhythm, shadow short sentences, collect useful chunks, speak after every listening session. Let English enter your mind through sound until your mouth begins to follow. You may not sound perfect tomorrow, but you will sound better with practice. And every time you listen, repeat, and speak, you are training your brain to stop translating and start responding. So start today. Stop studying only. Start listening deeply. Because natural English does not begin when you know every rule. It begins when English becomes a voice your brain recognizes, trusts, and finally speaks.